Enterprises' engagement in digital transformation projects is really what's driving the need for increased security. Security is this constantly moving target, and the hackers and the intruders are going to go where there's the least resistance. And over the years, we built up this pretty good software layer, so where the hacker's going? They're going into hardware. And the deepest level of hardware you can get is attacking the firmware. And once you've attacked the firmware, you essentially have control over everything. It's a huge risk now. And in fact, it's the biggest attack point for hackers today. So there are three things that HP is doing that I really like. First is they're doing a silicon root of trust, actually having a specific piece of silicon that when the system boots, the firmware checks it to make sure that it's legitimate. If it's not legitimate, it can actually roll back, and that's the second feature. The third is running special algorithms, special security algorithms to make sure in real time that there's nothing nefarious going on. So what I also like about HP Gen 10 servers is they're using Intel TXT technology, which essentially attests that the hardware is matching up with the appropriate operating system. There are also compliance levels that I think people are going to appreciate that HPE hits, and that's those ones around NIST. Now NIST not only hits the server, but it's server, storage, networking, and the full stack. Owning a supply chain is actually a piece of the security chain that a lot of people forget about. You have to know who's manufacturing what, who is actually putting the security silicon on the motherboard, and most importantly, who is putting the firmware on the motherboard itself. Now, well, HP does a tremendous amount of its own technology, so they do have more control over that supply chain, as well as developing their own BIOS. So security to most people is a very complex proposition. There are terms that are used differently, even between vendors. So what we tried to do is we actually wrote a paper, and in a few pages, give some guidance on what questions that you should be asking as you're looking for more secure infrastructure.